Good morning, my fellow Americans. This is BBH here. It's a beautiful Saturday. Probably gonna go out, spend some time on the lake today, but Saturday has always been about mental health for me. One of my reasons for starting this channel, which I never thought I would do, is to discuss my journey over the past several years as a man, trying to figure out what is wrong with me. 5 years ago, I felt lost. 3 years ago, I felt angry. And I understand why there's a lot of anger in the world. We are doing a lot of things that are making ourselves happy on one hand, but unhappy on the other. And it's a very conflicting thing to be a part of, because I do understand that some of this stuff is enjoyable, but I feel like some of it also undermines the fabric of society, and sometimes that's really hard to cope with. So, as someone who would like to make the world a better place and help other people, because I feel like I'm in a better place than I was, I've decided to do the uncomfortable thing and post my experience and talk about it, and talk about what's going on in my circle, not just with myself, but other primarily men that I know. And I mean, this applies to women if you have a similar lived experience to me, but I have a feeling that my lived experience, the things that I'm concerned about, the things I care about, the things that upset me, the things that make me happy are different. I think that we're being taught to be less critical by making blanket statements like everyone is the same. We are not the same. We are different. And that lack of critical thinking is not going to help you solve any problems. If you are addressing everyone in the same manner and thinking that everyone holds equal importance over X, Y, and Z, you're never going to get anywhere doing that. I mean, my first step in the journey for myself, when I realized that I was just lost and had no control over my destiny, over what I want, over what I'm doing, was my own lack of self-awareness, my own lack of understanding. One of the first things I did was just sell. I went through everything in my life and I said, if this is not making me happy, not if this is not making me unhappy, or not if this is making me unhappy, anything that was not a positive addition to my life, I went through and posted it, sold it, got rid of it, got down to a manageable level. And this was my, Jordan Peterson, clean your room step. Get your life in order so that you can come from a place of organization, understanding, following a procedure to try to test things out to see what makes you happy. Go try something new. Is this what you need? Go try one of your old hobbies. I went through a huge phase of getting into stuff that I thought I didn't care about anymore. I'd stopped working out. I was playing a lot of video games. Until recently, I really didn't even have the epiphany that I have undiagnosed ADHD. That has been a major component of this. So I've always struggled with executive functioning, time management, scheduling, things being out of sight, out of mind. I guess for me, because I've always been able to cope with it, been able to be functional, be successful at work, be successful in school. I was like, what do I need to do about this? I'm not going to go take medication for no benefit, because I didn't even understand what it could really help me do. But being able to focus and being able to accomplish tasks improved my mental health 1,000-fold, because part of what I would beat myself up for was feeling like I'm lazy, feeling like I'm unmotivated, feeling like I'm never going to accomplish anything. And even now, it's still something that I cope with every day. It's not, I don't believe that there is a magic pill. If you have a weight problem and you go on a diet, it doesn't solve it. You still need to manage your food intake. You still need to work out a certain amount. I mean, just for my mental sanity, I have to work out a certain amount, or I will. That is one of my primary coping skills, is working out. It's forced meditation. It improves the way I feel. If you are really in the zone and all you can think about is breathing, then that's forced meditation. You don't have a choice. Your brain is shut down and is trying to stay alive. So I really love it. I don't really even fully understand all the things that I love about it, but I know that if I do feel like I haven't been doing the right things, certainly a workout can be a healthy way to punish yourself, which is a weird thing to say out loud, but it is sometimes what I need to feel better. I think we're going through a huge period of change. I'm not even going to get into technology or what's going on today. The huge period of change I'm talking about is, I'm not extremely religious. I do find that there's value in the Bible as a book of wisdom. I mean, it's just good advice. But that whole structure that was part of the fabric of society, we got rid of that in short order. The family nuclear unit, we've not only gotten rid of that at a societal level to an extent, just a percentage of the population is very okay with that not needing to be important in their lives, the lives of their children. But the financial system is reinforcing that by making it very difficult to afford children. I mean, even as a dual income, no kids, there's plenty of people out there that are not drowning in money because they didn't have kids. So the idea for them to go out and have a child is really a decision on, do I want to lose portions of things that I may enjoy about my life? And that's a really shameful place to be as a country. Elon Musk wants to complain about dropping birth rates. Well, there's a reason for this. The consolidation of power and money into the upper echelons of society has really only accelerated. I mean, as these companies get bigger, their monetary mass gets bigger. You're headed toward idiocracy. I mean, we've created a system that supposedly stops this. No monopolies, right? Well, you've got duopolies in most cases. You've got Walmart and Amazon. You've got Microsoft and Apple. You've got Nvidia and AMD. And I mean, the list goes on. In some cases, you've got 3, 4, 5 companies, but they're still massive, multinational, global corporations that produce so much money every year that they can't even spend it on really anything except expansion and acquiring more and more revenue. I mean, from a business standpoint, it makes no sense to have $1 billion sitting on the books doing nothing when you could buy a business for $1 billion that's going to earn 300 million or so in perpetuity for the length of your infinite life as a corporation. So the lifeblood of corporations is growth, and the stock market is an illustration of that. But we are living in a system that is predicated on infinite growth, and we live on a finite world. So I believe that this is headed for trouble at some point. I don't know how long it's going to take, but events like what's going on right now with more consolidation in the banking sector and irresponsible government policy, just, man, sometimes it's hard to, I can't watch the news. I really can't. I can't, my coping skills do not extend that deep. It is very unhealthy for me to expose myself to the propaganda that is being pushed. It's not information anymore. It's conditioning. And the older I get, the more that I understand that even the benign portions of my life, like school. I mean, school is conditioning for work. You are being trained, you are being groomed, you are being told when you did a good job, when you did a bad job, you're being told to solve problems that are put before you. The biggest flaw in that, and this isn't my original thought, this is something that I heard Elon Musk say. The biggest flaw with that is that we teach you to only solve the problems we place before you. We don't teach you to be critical about whether this is a problem that needs to be solved. They don't want you to be that critical. They want you to be critical enough to perform work for them, but they don't want you to be so autonomous, such a free thinker, that you say, this isn't right. Why am I working for you doing this way? I'm gonna go start my own company because you won't let me stop improving on this piece of junk that does this function. We should just get rid of the whole thing, redesign it. This doesn't need to exist. So I think that exploring yourself makes you dangerous, man. I think that understanding yourself makes you more useful to your friends, to your family. You can help yourself, you can help others. So I want to have a discussion on here. I want you guys to tell me what have been your wins, what has worked for you, what are you struggling with right now? You know, you can go to a therapist, which is incredibly hard to get an appointment, incredibly hard to get access to someone to talk to. And because of that, most of the information and assistance that I have gotten has been on YouTube from other people who are like-minded and trying to accomplish the same things. So I'm here joining that conversation. I'm here to pass it along, to pay it forward, and to hopefully help people because I've been helped by others. We can't change things, especially not under the circumstances. I mean, just being angry and frustrated and sad or depressed or suicidal. I mean, that is not a position of power. That is, you're just keeping your head above water if that is how you're feeling. And in order to come back to the table, we have to deal with that. I mean, for me, I'm not a therapist, but I've been in the trenches with anyone who has experienced these feelings of frustration, of anger, of worthlessness. And so I'm not licensed, but I understand how I have dealt with this. And I mean, personally, my breaking point was during COVID. I was having heart issues. I was very frustrated. I'd lost my primary coping skill because I was not able to work out because I was having heart palpitations and all kinds of other stuff. It was a very dark time, but really getting to that point of looking at this as a logical situation where you're like, these are the things that are making me unhappy. I understand what's making me unhappy. I understand why I'm angry, and I understand there's nothing I can do about it. That's a really, I called that logical depression. It's a really hard thing to just go talk to someone about, because you can't do anything about it. This is your reality and you are just coping with it. But the only way you're ever going to change things is to get out of that hole and to get back up. Get on the horse and just take it a day at a time. Every day you got to fight against that. Every day you got to make sure that you're doing your small checklist of things that you need to do, whether it's clean up, whether it's do X, Y, and Z. Having ADHD and being distracted makes it very easy for me to procrastinate. And procrastination is the gateway drug to going back to where I was for me. So I'm not saying I'm on autopilot. I've got it all figured out. I work at this every day. I get up and I'm thinking about what I need to do to keep things going for myself. And I think that I have things that I can offer to other people about all the time that I spent trying to understand what it was that I was missing. It really, to me, just boils down to we are meant to be fulfilling roles in our local tribes or communities, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call your group, your circle. Traditionally, men have been protectors, providers, and we are in a drastically changing world where you no longer, in many cases, are considered to be that. You are just a different thing now. We are the other thing that the monetary system has created is the ability to buy anything you need. You don't need to be dependent on anyone, whether that's protection that's provided as part of your tax dollars, but you're still paying for it. Whether that's, we used to go out and brave the wilderness and dangers and, go find meat, go explore into other territories where there could be other humans who are competing for the same resources, and make sure that we bring those back to feed the people that we care about, no matter what the cost is. And a lot of that's been trivialized and turned into a monetary game played by the government. Those people that still want to pursue that role often join the military. But we've been replaced by supermarkets. We've been replaced by taxi drivers and, carpenters and, pretty much anything has been monetized. You can now buy it. It was, back in the old days, a lot of things were done for an exchange of services. I help you fix your house if I have carpentry skills, and if you go kill an animal and I'm a butcher, I'll butcher your meat for you. All this stuff created bonds, created respect with each other. Now it's impersonal, it's just money. changing hands. You know, you were actually valued. If you were a cooper and you created barrels in the old days, you were valued because we needed that to store food. Now you're valued at $20 a barrel, or whatever it is that you get paid to do what you do. But the sense of community has been slowly unraveling as it becomes more corporate, and it's not even people doing it, it's entities that have the rights of people, that live forever and only pay taxes on their profits, not their gross income. So that puts us at a disadvantage. We have a finite lifespan, and we are not able to take advantage of that type of a tax structure where any money that you spend toward operating your life and keeping things rolling is not taxed. Well, that's what it's like to be a corporation. So I wish that I could get rid of my natural identity and just incorporate as a human being, because there would be many advantages to that. The other thing that I think is important to say is I have people in my life right now who are dealing with these type of feelings. I just found out that one of my closest friends was just at that point considering suicide. And while I don't blame him, I am upset with him for not telling me before he'd already considered it. And you know, he was approaching that bridge and getting into that headspace. I just wish that he had let me know that that was the issue, or that was where he was at, because I know what it's like to feel those feelings and to know that you can't make them go away. But at the same time, if you're not afraid to lose your life, there is power in that. You know, you're afraid of quitting your job, you're afraid of not having any money, you're afraid of all these stupid things that, compared to losing your life, are of very little consequence. And if you think about it the right way, it is liberating. It's like taking off shackles. If you face that and realize that you are done caring what other people think, you're done worrying about things that are not truly important, and you're ready to spend time identifying the things that are the critical points in your life that you want to keep, then being in that position is something that you can walk away from as a stronger person, not just because you didn't follow through on it, but also because you have reached a point where you have been able to separate what is important and what is not. What would you miss? What would you not miss? What things are here for you, and lean into those. Whether it's family, whether it's a goal that you have felt was never going to be achievable, you are capable of anything that you set your mind to doing. I truly believe that, especially if you are not going to let what other people think or tell you is wrong. If you are going to pursue something because you know that end result would make you happy, you are a force to be reckoned with. So I think that's enough for today on this topic. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys get out there and enjoy some sunlight. Get a workout in for me. Go do something fun. Hug a puppy. HBB out. BBH out.